Hey everyone, Tony Winston here, Jazz Piano College. Going to take a look at the song Broadway. It's not on Broadway, just Broadway, done by Ella Fitzgerald, and also Tony Bennett's got a good version of it too. Written by H. Woody. Never heard of that guy. Probably wrote all his best songs early in the morning, I would think. We had a lot of trouble finding a chart, but I did manage to find one in one of my books, and it's in the key of D flat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about it in the key of D flat, but at the end of this video I'm going to play it in the key of C using Chord, so you can see the keys light up. The bebop scale. And that'll be it. We'll just talk a little bit about it. And we're focusing a little bit on rhythm these days. So once again, we have this offset kind of a thing. So it's like 1 and 2, 3, 4, and. You know, it's a very simple motif, just two notes. But, you know, comes in beat 1, then comes in on beat 4. 2, 3, 4. I think right there, it's best to do that same rhythm. 4 and, though, you know, it's written 3, 4, 1 and 2, and maybe for a vocalist that might be better. If you like the key of D flat, you know, the song is that Stompin' at the Savoy. So, you know, you might want to work on this song in addition to that one and get real familiar with the key of D flat. And I also put a D flat blues up recently with a play-along track. And there's nothing like familiarizing yourself with a key than to play the blues in that key. Because, you know, it's got all the typical changes, the 1 to the 4, the move, the turnaround, all that kind of stuff. So, and this song, you know, goes from the 1 chord right up to the 4 chord, just like the blues would do, like an 8-bar blues maybe. And you know, modern songs, if you can call this modern, you know, it wasn't written in the 1800s, you know, uses that part of the blues scale. All right, so let's go over the blues scales while we're talking about it. So D flat blues scale, very easy because it's so much like the C blues scale in that it goes from a white key to a black key. Or is it a black key to a white key? And you know, you can use a very simple fingering or whatever you like. And it goes to the 4 chord. And notice how well that blues scale fits over the 4 chord. Now on the 1 chord, we might use, you know, some other notes that kind of give us a more major chord type of feel. So, all right, and you might recognize this as the B flat blues scale, right? But it sounds completely different when we're in the key of D flat. And mixing the two scales together and using some chromaticism, you know, like chromatic stuff in there. It's a mixture of the two scales. Think of it like that. Okay, let's look a little further into the song. In the first ending, we've got a 2-5-1, E flat to A flat. And think about the song Blue Bossa, you know? Hey, everybody's cool on this part. You know, because we can use some blues scales. When you get to this change, you got to be comfortable in the key of D flat. And you know, Monty Alexander, he's so comfortable. He throws the he throws the minute waltz in there when he improvises there. He does some bluesy stuff in there too, like that, you know, right in the middle of a blue bossa. But why we talk about blue bossa, I forget. All right, let's go to the bridge. Take it to the bridge. All right, so usually the bridge goes to you know, like a different chord or something, but in this bridge, it goes from a D flat 6 to a D flat 7th. I'm trying to read that chord symbol there. It looks like G flat 5, but I think it's really, I don't know what that could possibly mean. Let's just make it a G flat 6. All right, and then we're going to go, you know, continuing around the cycle of fifths. To the key of E. Notice how funny they write that on this chart. I mean, that's what happens when you really are modulating to a different key, but you don't change the key signature. You got to write it funny. And that's really, if you think back to Stompin' at the Savoy, it has a very similar ending where it goes... ending to the bridge, that is. All right, and then, you know, we're back to the verse. All right, let's see if I can transpose it into the key of C real quick, and I'll do this on chordy too, but... pretty easy, especially if you're already familiar with the melody. Let's see, do a little improv, talk about that. The bebop scale. And you know, that's the scale Barry Harris uses to create. Did I do that right? No, I did not. I digress. All right, so, you know, you put in that little passing tone there and you have the bebop scale, but, you know, you can put it any place. All right, so let's take a little line with some enclosures. I made this line up years ago and worked it out in all 12 keys, but I can only play it in a few keys. All right, so I'm thinking of 2 pickup notes. 1, 2, but right. And then you know what I usually do is I think about the tritone substitution here, the A flat chord. If you put an A flat down there, even a D7 sounds like an A flat chord, right? That jazz note in there, all right? And then I think about the rootless voicing, and then I think about this riff. All right, it's very kind of Tatum-esque. I even played it over the E flat minor. I don't know why, but I did. All right, I learned it from Oscar doing this riff in D minor. And you know, if you're going to play this song in the key of C, this would be a good riff. And you just continue that on up. As far as you want to, just use a little bit of it. All right, and I don't know if I put this video up yet, but you can do, like if you do an altered scale, you can take a this. And you put your thumb there. All right, in E flat, it's going to come out putting your thumb right there on a black key. And you know, you may spend a lot of time working out a different fingering. You got 4 black keys in a row there. I don't know what you're going to do. We could figure out something, but just use the same fingering and, you know, learn how to play like the wrong fingerings. And one way to learn how to do wrong fingerings, take the C major scale fingering and do it on D flat. I don't know if I could do it, but. Now, for you classical students out there, maybe not the best idea. But, you know, there are times when you just have to use the fingering that, you know, your fingers are not trained to do. And this might be one of those spots. All right, Broadway. And as always, folks, the track is free. It's down there in the description, in the key of C. 155 beats per minute, goes through it 4 times. And bad ending. All right, thanks, everyone. Like and subscribe. Appreciate it. See ya.